This is our harvest of collard greens today. It's a pretty good harvest here. It's a lot. This much. Which will make a really nice pot of greens. Our plan is to get a rabbit from the place down the street that smokes meats called Très Bon and cook some rabbit and some collard greens. I am so excited. It's going to be delicious. And the poor little saturated garden. Y'all, we are so waterlogged. It's just gross. Look at the ground. It's standing water everywhere. The flowers and things are really happy though, I have to say. They're getting watered better now than we ever could water them. But we're having a problem with cabbage worms. This is a tray of all the leaves that we're losing to these things. See? Hubs discovered a bunch of cluster of worms in that bed over there this morning, and so we just started picking and decided we were going to pick and cook. So we're going to be picking some of these really nice heads of romaine and making a good salad. We're also starting to pick out of this collard greens bed. And I've also had a problem with worms in this. I just tore off a bunch of leaves. I have been using, let me show you, hang on one second. This is what I've been using to combat these things. And it's 1 tablespoon per gallon. I put it in my little sprayer and just go squirt around. I just have a little gallon sprayer. But it's been raining so much that as soon as they get sprayed, it seems to rain and wash all off, and then we have worms again. Because these little larva-laying flies are just relentless. Got some spinach coming up. My beets are just kind of a failure. Oh well. Got some peas coming up too. That's peas. We planted about 20 and 2 came up. That's why we plant 20. Check out the Roma tomatoes. They look good. And more coming out on these little tiny bushes. It's amazing to me. And beautiful tomatoes and squash growing in the compost. And I'm very proud that I rooted this little guy from this big guy. It was a little sucker, and I broke it off and put rooting hormone and put some Super Thrive on it and potted it, and it's growing. As is this little guy. They looked so awful when I initially repotted them. They were just all drooped over and horrible, and I just kept them in indirect sunlight and kept an eye on them, and they're perking up. I think it would be safe to say that the cilantro is bolting, so we have to get a grip on that, cut some off and use it. And the parsley and celery is doing quite well. So what couldn't do well with all this lovely rain? The lawn. Hi, girls. Y'all, I lost a chicken. I went from 4 to 3. I don't know what was wrong with her. We found her dead in the middle of the yard out here one morning. The door had been left open, and there was no sign of foul play. There was no bites or signs of a struggle or anything. She just died. I had taken her to the vet twice, and giving her shots, and they said she had a respiratory problem. And I really wonder if that chicken was the one laying the deformed eggs last summer. That is a question I have, but we really do want some more. Want to add to our little flock, and we'd like to have 6. So we are working on a temporary chicken pen, or infirm, whatever you'd like to call it. We're gonna make it a little small coop that we can bring up the little folks in, or we can isolate a sick chick. As a little side note, I made this little topsy-turvy planter. Actually, I'm in the process of making it. Gonna go get some good potting soil, fill up those pots, and plant some pretty flowers at the entrance to the garden. There was kind of nothing else to do at that corner. I planted sunflowers there last year, and they were great. They grew nice and tall, and I could see them when I looked out of my back door, but I decided to do a topsy-turvy this year. Here's a catnip. Jesus is very happy. Jesus the cat. I hope Jesus the spirit is very happy as well. So thank you for joining me today. Try to stay dry. I'm seriously thinking of collecting wood because we should start building an ark at this rate. We're going to all float away. All right, peace, love, and bountiful harvest.